Good morning, everybody. How are you guys doing? I hope you're having a good day. I wanted to introduce you guys to Sojournlist. It's a kind of tour showing how it works and key factors, things to pay attention to. So here's just the landing page where we have featured spots above the fold, below the fold. Some of the format of this is going to change uh, in the coming weeks, but this is kind of what we're starting with here. And then we have the separate categories to kind of narrow down your interests. On the parallax images on the top, there will be a scrolling map where you can narrow down the particular destinations you want to find. Also a search bar, searches through terms. And we have separate categories kind of dedicated to different travel and tourism areas uh, relatively loosely, but I'll get more into that shortly. Um, let's pick the article I wrote called about the documentary Kifaro and spending the day with some of the guards of the last northern white rhinos in the world. So on the article, there will be in some of these blank spots, Google AdSense type ads, and then scrolling ads. With these ads, we will share 75% of the receipts from the ads directly to the writer on a monthly basis, as well as optimizing the website for instant articles, which will provide a very similar source of revenue when shared on Facebook or Instagram. So when we share those, we direct that. However, these ads and these spots like right here can be directly sold by the writer, whether or not by themselves or through teaming up with a salesperson. That is potentially far more beneficial to the writer. We also want to heavily consider advertising trade in this. What advertising trade is basically exchanging advertising for half cash, half coupons or gift cards or free nights in a hotel, things like that. You make those deals. We will share those splits with the writer as well. The writer is free to do whatever they want with any of the trade that they received. However, we encourage that if they do use trade, we encourage that they in turn share it with the readers and the people who interact with them and follow them on the page to provide an additional benefit to reading about travel and tourism than the usual simple benefit of learning something or enjoyment, informational purposes. We have photo guides and video tours. The video information is also plugged in onto YouTube, where we have hooked up our Google AdSense account to share revenue that way, and potential hosted ad sales through that channel. Then you come over here to your profile. On your profile is we have points and something like that. So if you're a writer and you have $200 in gift cards you want to give away, you can look at a reader's profile and see how active they are. A writer acquires points for accomplishing certain tasks, like if they read 10 articles, they get a point. If they gain some friends or they follow a writer, they get points. However, they'll also get points for visiting items on their bucket list. The way the bucket list works is if you add a destination or a activity to your bucket list, like Olympia, Washington, where we're based out of, it'll pull it up, all the articles related to Olympia, Washington, and And we also track the people who have destinations in the bucket list. The reason we track it is if you're a writer and you wrote an article on a destination like Olympia, um, that gives you the ability to offer Olympia um, at a significantly lower cost than usual to email everyone who added Olympia, Washington to their bucket list because of your article a free travel guide that they produce, or a packet of coupons if it's a business, or uh, you know, a variety of things. Email doesn't go to their personal email. Their email goes to our inbox system, so we're not spamming people, which I know everyone hates. However, um, what we will also do is uh, we will have an e-newsletter, and we're kind of gauging whether or not we want to send it through the website internally or send it to people's external email addresses. But our feeling is that we're going to send a weekly external newsletter related to the destinations that people are specifically interested in via additions to their bucket list. Um, and occasionally, some of those newsletters will be sponsored content, like if everyone adds Austin, Texas, or Rome, Italy, we would go to their travel boards and offer them, $1 per person to email them information on how to find best deals, where to stay, where to visit, things like that. Um, and we do that like on a week, like a once a week basis. We don't want to blow up everyone's inbox because everyone's frankly tired of spam. And then you are able to opt in or opt out of the newsletter as you please through your settings. In your settings, no matter who you are, if you have a knack for writing, you can scroll down here and upload a blog post. The blog post is pretty simple. So you would enter your article. Let's use Rome, Italy. Obviously that's not the headline you would use. You would select your content. So what if you're doing a thing on Roman ruins? You select culture and history. You insert your article here. You can upload your images through here, kind of place them and organize them. If you don't have images, you would just insert a picture of a red X or a black X. Red X signifies that you don't have photos at all and that we need to place stock images into your article. Black X indicates that you are having issues currently uploading photos because the photos currently at this time need to be sized between 650 and 750 pixels wide. So, and some of our early adopters have struggled with that. So once you upload your images, you select a feature image that is picked, that you feel is your strongest image to be featured onto to be posted on a thing. You would write an excerpt. The excerpt is just a short description of your article that is below your article on your post, and then you would tag. So if you were doing Europe, it would be in Rome, it would be Europe, Rome, Italy, ruins, culture, amphitheater, the tags that are important to your story. However, if you just say you're, instead of Rome, Italy, you are doing someplace in North America. In that case, you would, due to our map functionality, you would have to write North America hyphenated. Same with South America, and I believe currently Oceania and Australia are lumped together into one category instead of being like um, Pacific Islands hyphen Pacific hyphen Islands hyphen Australia kind of deal. So that's how you upload an article. The article then gets forwarded to us for approval and goes through our editor / editors. Before final approval, we'll clean up your article, make sure that it abides by Associated Press sound guides. It may take a few days to get it fully uploaded, depending on how many articles have been uploaded and our availability. But we will get uploaded as quickly as possible. And then if you want to update it, you are able to make changes which come back to us. So like if you were to write, if you were to do a weekly events calendar for a city, like let's say you were to do a weekly events calendar for Atlanta or for, Stockholm or for Beijing, you wouldn't just upload a new article. You would go through and you would just edit your old article to add the week's events that you find your audience would be interested in. Or if you write an article, like I have a series of articles that I started and other people have started kind of picking up, and you're free to do the same. Liftcation, get away by staying in town. The idea is that it's a vacation destination that you would leave your house and it's so close you could take a lift to your ride, because frankly, not everybody can go on vacation and hop on a plane. And so we wanted to give people some closer options. And so this one is our liftcation article. And we offer where to go, where to stay, and then there are upcoming events. However, I already need to update this before we go live, seeing as how June 9th has already passed and July 4th. So tomorrow I will update this, and then I would come in every few months and update the upcoming events so that the article stays timely and relevant. However, you're not required to ensure that the article stays timely relevant. We'll keep it up on the website, and as long as it gets views and as long as you're able to sell ad space on it, we will continuously pay you the 75% ad revenue on your work, whether it's photography, photo guides, whether it's articles, whether it is videos. We will always pay that to you on a monthly basis, or if it's hosted ads, basically as soon as the hosted ad is run, we will issue an invoice. As soon as the client pays, a day or two later, we will send you your money in a variety of methods, whether it's Venmo or Apple Pay, whether we mail you a check, or whether we like direct deposit into your account, basically. Just basically your preference. Then once that happens, you work on building an audience, building a followers. You can follow writers. You can click on an article that you're really interested in and add it to your bucket list. Like if you're really into the blues and Memphis, you can add this article to your bucket list. And then, I mean, it's really kind of, I think, a unique system, but we are excited to launch and excited to, for all the writers. We're really, I really appreciate all the amazing work that has been done. And, some of these people are really interesting. Like we have a few writers who are professional travel writers, but a lot of these, a lot of the people who submitted are not. They are regular people who have a knack for writing, um, and they enjoy it. And we have some of the photos also are a little bit skewed. We're working on a sizing issue for the thumbnails, but uh, we are we want to introduce you to writing and journalism. So if you're a stay-at-home mom and you have the time to write an article about the best playgrounds that are in your area, or hikes or activities you love to do with your children or your family, or if you are a sports fanatic and you want to write about, the 10 best sports bar in your area, if you want to write about, it's such a broad category that you can really hit up everything from local restaurants to parks to museums to, music events to cultural events, and we will welcome it all. And we will then take your article and push it out on our Facebook and social media to garner views. We encourage you guys to like our page, to share it from our page to what we like to consider our marketing plan is through targeting of micro markets. So if you are a avidly into sports, for example, and you're a huge Colorado Rockies fan, you might go to a Colorado Rockies Facebook fan page, and write an article somehow affiliated with the Colorado Rockies, and then share it on that fan page. We just happen to believe that um, groups of people who have a similar interest, like for instance, if you want to write an article on Comic Con, you could do the same thing and then share it on a comic uh, message board, and garner the reviews from that. And the great thing about hosted advertising versus the AdSense advertising is AdSense, you really have to rack up a lot of views to make a solid uh, income off of that article. However, you're able to sell hosted ads to a targeted group of people at a far far smaller number than what would be required of Google AdSense, at a far greater benefit financially to you. Um, and that's kind of what we want to do. I started out my adult life as a journalist and was forced to leave the world of journalism behind because I honestly could not survive on the amount of money that I was making. I loved writing. I loved the whole thing. It was just, um, I wasn't good enough to really break out of that abject poverty, and I wasn't willing to put the time in to break out of that abject poverty to make a still dismal wage. So I became an accountant. Eventually, I helped run a small publishing company. And with what I've learned between being a journalist and running a small publishing company's finances and overseeing their ad sales and things like that, that there was just a better way to run uh, basically a publication. But we have multiple sources of advertising. We're increasing the sources through upcoming print magazines, where we will also do a heavy revenue share of the advertisements related to your work. Regardless of whether we sell it or you team up with one of your buddies who has a knack for sales, we will share that revenue with you, because frankly we believe that the business model has been a little bit self-serving, and frankly kind of has gotten used to taking advantage of people and being abusive. and we hope to be a completely ethical and responsible and honest and upfront company to kind of counteract that and operate on the other side of the spectrum. As a result, we will be uh, providing our writers with almost this, I mean, pretty much the same exact information we see. So they'll see how many views and how many clicks via our analytics um, sources that they got and how much they earned directly from those analytics. They'll see how big my paycheck is on a quarterly basis. If this website turns out to be profitable, because we understand that not that some writers are going to rise to the top, and some writers may take a little while to start getting a following, and some writers may not ever really earn a whole lot. We have decided that at the end of every year at least, but ideally quarterly, any profits that we have, um, we would in part split those profits and issue out a dividend of sorts to everybody who um, provided content. Um, we're not quite sure how we would split that up. Maybe we'd change it up a few times before we settle on a way. Maybe we divide it by the number of articles, submitted that quarter, and then split it up between all of the writers, whether it's $10,000 or $100,000, and there's whether it's 10 articles or whether it's 5,000 articles that are submitted. We want to basically quarterly split any remaining profits um, up equally amongst as a dividend with the writers, so that we provide some incentive for people who maybe are struggling to get off the ground. I'm really excited about this. I'm really proud of this website. 3 months ago, I didn't have the slightest clue on how to build the website, and I'm only partway there. So we have a handful of partners that have helped us out, and I am greatly appreciative of them. And so far, we're just really proud of the website, and I wanted to share with you guys. We should be bringing it live here shortly, but I wanted to give you guys an initial tour on what you could expect from our website. If you have any questions, comment down below, and I would be more than happy to answer them for you. And if I don't have an answer for you, I will sit down with Abel, our editor, and we'll try to figure out a solution that is upfront, honest, ethical, and hopefully provides the most benefit to you guys. But also editorial guidelines. You can really submit what you want to write about. It's pretty open. You know your audience. You know what you're interested in. You know what you like. We're just here to clean it up a little bit and make it a little bit more professional. Perhaps if you're not a trained journalist, some articles we barely even touch. So they're fine the way they are. Some articles require a little bit more lifting to kind of clean up and arrange stuff. We also have, oh, sorry, I forgot about that. We have groups that you can join if you want to write. And then on those groups, you can share peer review tips, story ideas, get help and guidance for others. So you can post a story, you can post an article, you can post really a wide variety of things and have people offer suggestions and tips and guidelines on how to maybe improve your article or maybe reach a wider audience. But basically, we're hoping to work with you guys and work together to kind of put a positive spin on travel and tourism. Shortly after this launches, we will be doing the same thing with a home design, cooking, sort of deal. Another one for tech and science. Another one for health, lifestyle, sports. Um, a family oriented, like child raising oriented one. We have about 20 other domain names that we hope to kind of hit up and share this benefit around. And then my end goal would be to create a current news website that is completely financed by these websites and is autonomously run and 100% ad free to avoid any conflicts of interest and ethical boundaries to be crossed. But we hope to be a very open and ethical company, um, and we will strive and work very hard to make sure that we maintain that. And the way we hope to maintain that is by being very, very, very transparent. Because as a former auditor, I believe that transparency is highly important and helps keep people in the straight and narrow, um, and helps to prevent things like greed. So we've the people who've invested in my company, whether it's through time or small amounts of cash, we have, and if they actively participate in it, we have capped our yearly salaries. Um, so they'll never, right now, they'll never exceed $150,000. So we hope that we don't lose touch with what's greater by what's more important with the world by becoming a billionaire like Jeff Bezos or Zuckerberg, clearly. But um, we it's our kind of attempt at doing something good with the world. So tell us what you think, how you like it, um, anything you'd like to add. We're really, really, really excited to bring this live, and we can't wait to read your articles. Thank you. Have a good night.